Hey y'all, this video is about people pleasing. Don't be a people pleaser. Because no matter what you do, someone is going to be mad. Say you got like 3 or 4 best friends and they all want you to do something different. That's why you shouldn't have 3 or 4 best friends. Unless they all agree and they all want you to do the same thing. This is why I've only had one best friend my entire life, 26 years. I've had one best friend. Her name's Ashley. We met in church. So you could say my whole life, you could say she's been like my one boss. She's kind of been like my mom, even though she's actually 2 years younger than me. But she's very mature, very wise. So my whole last 26 years, I've essentially had one boss, and that was my best friend, who's 2 years younger than me. And I think that's really what everybody needs to do, and that's why, I never went crazy, because I only had one person giving me advice. And I think everybody should just have one best friend, one person that they listen to, that they respect, that they admire and look up to. What's cool about me and my best friend is we're both writers, so that's why I always respected her, because she's a good writer, just like me. So obviously it's important that you have something big in common with your best friend. But I really, really think that everybody would be so much happier if they just had one best friend. Because if you got 3 or 4 and they're all telling you different things, no matter what you do, one of them's going to be mad. So it's really important that everybody just has one person that they listen to, that they talk to, that they try and get advice from. There's a proverb that says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So if you try and have lots of companions, lots of friends, you will come to ruin. That's what happened with my ex-husband. He had his wife, his aunt, his sister, me, my mom, way too many women in his life. And then he freaking went crazy because we all wanted different things, I guess. And we were all giving him different advice. And he couldn't keep all of us happy at the same time. One of my exes said, your parents are your best friends until you have kids, and then they become your worst enemies. Because your parents have their opinion about how you should parent. Your spouse has their own opinion. Maybe your friends have their own opinion. At some point, you just have to tune everybody out and just be like, I'm just going to do what God wants me to do. And you got to be like a God pleaser and not a people pleaser. Like Paul said, if I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ. If you try and please people, the question is first, who are you going to please? I recommend you only pick one person. But the problem is, if you want to please one person, you want to please everybody, and then you go freaking insane because you can't please everybody. No matter what you do, someone's going to be mad. Say you're letting 3 or 4 different people control you and dictate your life, but they want 2 different things, you're going to go crazy because you can't make them both happy. Yeah, say 2 people want 2 different things. They're trying to control what you do, dictate your life. You're going to go crazy. That's why there's that verse, a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. You know why? Because like it or not, man, your wives, your girlfriend, whatever, she kind of becomes your dictator. And you can't have your mom dictating you and your wife or girlfriend. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Every man needs to have one boss. And obviously the Bible does say that the man is the head of the home. But in that one movie, she says, the man may be the head, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the head any way that she wants. And that's true. Yes, the man is the head, but ultimately, every man should only be trying to please one woman at a time, or else you're going to go crazy, men. Don't try and please more than one woman at a time. It's not going to work. It's going to end badly. Same for you ladies. Don't try and please one man. Don't only please one man at a time. Which I'm sure women who are working get this mixed up, because maybe you have a man boss, but then you have a husband, and you're like, well, who should I please? That's why women shouldn't work. because the only person you should be pleasing is your husband, boyfriend, whatever, the person you're living with. So ultimately, every house should be one man, one woman. The woman should only be pleasing one man, her husband. The man should only be pleasing one woman, his wife. Unless you're an independent person and you're working, and then your boss is your boss, and they dictate your life. Like in that movie, The Devil Wears Prada. The guy says to her at one point, the person that you're in a relationship with is the person whose calls you answer. So if there's someone where you always answer their calls, you text them back within a second, that's your mate. Whether it's your boss, a family member, whatever, that's your mate. That's your mate, which I knew that this was an issue with my ex because he was like that with his mom. As soon as she texted him, he texted her back. And I was like, that's weird. So it seemed to me more like his mom was his mate more than me, because he wasn't like that with me. He didn't just text me back right away. Anyways, so whoever you're like that with, that's your mate. That's probably the person you should be living with until you don't want to live with them anymore. But most people can only be 100% loyal to one person, and 100% letting one other person control them. Which, I don't necessarily advocate that, because Paul says, don't let anything master you. He says, all things are permissible, but I will not be mastered by anything. So I take that to mean no substance and no human should master you. Only God should master you. So think about that. That could be a breakthrough for you. If you have an addiction, if you're letting a substance master you, don't let it master you. Why are you letting it master you? Why are you a slave to whatever? Pills, alcohol, smoking, sex, porn? Why are you a slave to any of those things? Why are you a slave to your job? Why are you a slave to your boss? You could just get a different boss. You can get a different job. Don't be a slave to anything or anybody. Only be a slave to God, because he's the only one who deserves it. He created us, right? So don't be a slave to a substance, and don't be a slave to a person. And but if you are, I recommend it that it's just one person, which is basically marriage. You're kind of slaves to each other, but yeah, try and keep it just one person, or else you're gonna go freaking insane. God bless y'all. God bless. Bye.